Welcome back, kids. Now we are going to start with our English Literature Reader Unit 1, Chapter number 1, 3 questions. We'll start it again because those who miss these sessions in the April month, they will learn it again through these videos. So let us start with our first chapter in Literature Reader. The name of this chapter is 3 Questions, which is written by Leo Tolstoy. Okay, actually this is a story. A king has 3 questions and he is seeking answers to them. What are the questions? Does the king get what he wants? So here in the story, the king is basically he is looking for answers for the 3 questions which he had in his mind, and whether he gets the answer for those questions or not, we have to find it out in the story. So let's get set, go. 3 questions. The thought came to a certain king that he would never fail if he knew 3 things. These 3 things were: what is the right time to begin something? Which people should he listen to? What is the most important thing for him to do? These were 3 questions and he was looking for answers for these 3 questions. The king therefore sent messengers throughout his kingdom, promising a large sum of money to anyone who would answer these 3 questions. So he sent his messengers to the other villages and the kingdoms. Whosoever would answer these 3 questions correctly, he would give them or him the large sum of amount. Many wise men came to the king, but they all answered his questions differently. In reply to the first question, what was the first question? What was the right time for the king to do? So in reply to this question, some said the king must prepare a timetable and then follow it strictly. Only this way, they said, could he do everything at its proper time. So he should prepare a timetable. Some suggested this one. Okay. Others said that it was impossible to decide in advance the right time for doing something. Okay. The king should notice all that was going on, avoid foolish pleasures, and always do whatever seemed necessary at the time. So others suggested that every time king should use his presence of mind and he should act in that way. Yet others said that the king needed a council of wise men who would help him act at the proper time. Council, what is the meaning of this word? Council means a group of people chosen to give advice or to make rules. So some suggested that a king should have council of wise men. Those wise men would suggest or give suggestions to the king at what time he should do and what he should do. Okay, this was because one man would find it impossible to decide correctly without help from others the right time for every action. So he should have the council of men. But then others said that there were some things which could be urgent. Okay, urgent. These things would not wait for the decisions of the council. In order to decide the right time for doing something, it is necessary to look into the future. Okay, now these other people, they were suggesting that if certain things happen, those things never appear in our life before. They never take appointment. Okay, they appear suddenly. So for these sudden things or sudden incidents, king should not wait for any council member. Okay, so he should peep into the future, what would happen in future, and then he should react. For this, these people suggested that only magicians could do that. Who could peep in future? Magicians, foretellers. Okay, so he should have magicians. So king therefore would have to go to magicians to ask what would happen in his future. So these were the questions, answers given to the first question. In their answer to the second question was which people king should deal with. Okay, which people he should meet with, interact with, and he will be successful while meeting those, after meeting those people. So that was the question. So to this question, some people said that the people most necessary to the king were his counselors. Okay, counselors. Who are counselors? Members of the council. Like we discussed right now, council means a member of a group of wise men is council. So counselors means wise men. So he should have the counselors with him who would suggest him, and those would be the important people in his life. Others said the priest. Okay, other people said that priest would be the most important people in king's life. A few others chose the doctors. Okay, and yet others said that his soldiers were the most necessary. To the third question was, what was the important thing for the king to do? Some said science. Some suggested that science was the important thing for the king to deal with. Others chose fighting, as he was king, warrior, so he should deal with fighting. And yet others said that religious worship, king should spend his time worshipping God. Okay, as the answers to his questions were so different, the king was not at all satisfied and gave no reward. Instead, he decided to seek the advice of a certain hermit who was widely known for his wisdom. Okay, no, so king was not satisfied with all these answers, as all these answers differed from the other one. So he didn't, neither like any of the answers, nor he rewarded anyone for those answers. So he decided to meet the hermit. Okay, the hermit who was widely known for his wisdom. Wisdom means his smartness. Okay, now who is this hermit? See, the meaning is given in the glossary. Hermit means a person who lives alone and leads a simple life. Hermit is a person who lives alone outside the village. Okay, basically in a forest area. He lives in the forest area and he leads very simple life. He he doesn't deal with with any common person. Okay, so he lives alone and he leads very simple life. So king decided to meet this hermit. The hermit lived in a wood which he never left. Wood, see the meaning? Wood means a small forest. So he used to live in a small forest and he never left that place. He saw no one but simple people. He saw no one but simple people means hermit. See, he himself was leading a very simple life. So he never wished or he never desired to meet a rich person, a royal person like king. So the king put on ordinary clothes. So what king had to do to meet this hermit? He had to put on ordinary clothes so that the hermit would be ready to talk with him. Before he reached the hermit's hut, the king left his horse with the bodyguard and went on alone. So before the king meet the hermit, or he would reach his house or his hut, and what the king did, he left his horse and his bodyguards behind and he went on alone, pretending himself a simple person in front of the hermit. Okay, till here we will study today. What happened next and what was the conversation? Did the king really get the answer of his questions? We'll deal it in our next video. Please read these parts again in your mind and try to understand. Okay, thank you.